Hey everyone, today in this video I'm excited to be checking out the MSI MAG. This is their 275CQRF-QD. This is a 27-inch 1440p gaming monitor. MSI did send me this monitor, but I want you to know that any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this monitor or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. I wanted to speak a minute on the KVM settings. You might notice now we have a Mac Mini here and connected to the monitor. We also still have our desktop PC. So the documentation isn't super clear, but basically the KVM settings are as follows: auto, upstream, or USB type C. So auto allows the monitor to automatically switch between USB input sources, such as keyboards, mice, or other USB devices, or users can designate upstream port or USB type C as the only USB signal source. Again, I'm not fully sure what exactly that means, but after a little bit of trial and error, here is what I have been able to figure out that you can actually do with the features. So, first up, Mac Mini's connected via HDMI. So that's how that's set up. The PC's connected via DisplayPort. From the Mac Mini, we have a USB Type-C cable connected to the USB Type-C port in the back of the monitor. And to the Windows PC, we're using the included USB, I think it's USB Type-B. It's their upstream cable connected to the upstream port, and that's plugged into the PC. Now, with auto mode, when I did all this, configured it, it was working in the PC, but when I switched over to the Mac, just by changing inputs, the keyboard and the mouse weren't working. So if you want to use this and do something similar, what I found is you will still have to just go over here and toggle which type. So in our case, I know the upstream's connected to the PC and the Type-C is connected to the Mac. When you want to use a different computer or device with the same keyboard and mouse, then go ahead, just pick and choose upstream or Type-C depending on the component of the computer that you're trying to use with your monitor. So that's how you should connect it on your end. Just keep track of which one has the Type-C cable and which one has the upstream cable. Next up is our UFO test. We have two tests to look at. The first one's going to be our frame rate test here. The second one is going to be our ghosting test. So on the screen, we have three different FPS values, all moving along at that 1440p, 170 hertz refresh rate. This is just a nice visualizer to see how much smoother the footage is on this monitor up at the top. Now, take it with a grain of salt. You have a camera pointed at a curved display that you're watching on your device. I can definitely tell in the preview, it doesn't look as good as it actually does in perfect. That UFO up at the top is near flawless. Our second test is the UFO ghosting test that you see on the screen right here. We've played around with some settings, turning adaptive sync on or off. Didn't really seem to make a difference from the visual results looking at it with our own eyes with this particular test. The biggest difference really came down to the response time settings. So if we go back into our menu here, under gaming and response time, play around with that and see which one you like best. I noticed a difference from normal to fast, not so much between fast to fastest, but we have it on fastest right now. And let me tell you, for a 27-inch curved monitor in this range, this one probably has the least amount of ghosting that I've seen. It looks really good. Next, let's talk about browsing the web. We have a couple popular websites pulled up right here. First one's YouTube's trending page, where you can see all the videos load and work just fine. Very responsive. Same can be said for The Verge, a popular tech blog. If you're gonna do a lot of reading and learning, consumption with your monitor. It's my favorite test time. We're gonna be measuring the input lag on this monitor. Now, input lag is different from response time. This has an advertised 1 millisecond response time, but they also mentioned the rapid VA. And with that, it says that there's like a 0.5 millisecond response time, all of that being measured gray to gray. So up at the top, we'll have our lowest result here. Take a look at that, 0.8 milliseconds. That's fantastic. I like to see it under like 1.5, 1.2. So we're definitely overachieving. That's one of the quickest times we've seen. The middle, anything around that 8 range is great, 8.4. And down at the bottom, hopefully 16 around there. Look at that, 15.7 milliseconds. So fantastic input lag performance for you professional gamers out there. Those milliseconds could make the difference for you and your competitive play. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about gaming. Now we're going to look at some popular titles on this monitor so you can get a better feel for the gameplay footage. Rest assured for you console gamers out there too, we have a PlayStation 5 connected. We are showing 1440p at up to 120 Hertz with this MSI monitor for your console. And same story with the Xbox. We have the Series X connected. You'll peak at 1440p resolution and 120 Hertz for your refresh rate.